Hello, my friend, and welcome. This is your moment. I'm Katarina Miletic, and you are listening to the podcast that will challenge you to think with your soul and believe that your only power is inside you. Hello, my friends, and welcome. I'd like to welcome you to This Is Your Moment podcast, where we are constantly changing format just to find out what feels right. And what feels right between us is to open up the conversations. And you will hear me often inviting people to open up. And this is not just to have a conversation for the sake of conversation. It's actually to be able and to be comfortable to share our stories with one another. And these stories, the stories that make up our life, that make up our experience, the stories that inspire others and allow them to connect with our experience, these stories start inside us. They start with knowing our story. I believe that we need to connect with the deepest parts of our own being in order to have a successful connection with everyone else. In order to truly bond and understand one another, we have to truly understand ourselves. And the reason why I'm talking about stories is because we always have a choice to live a particular story. In life, there are always two choices. Right now, you have a choice. You can watch this video, or you can choose to pretend you didn't see it, to pretend you didn't hear it, and to turn the blind eye to the calling that is deep inside you. The calling that knows that you want to make a bigger impact in the world. It's okay if you don't know how and where to start, but it's not okay to ignore it. Life is much better if we go with the flow of universal energy. I want to share with you today one of my stories. This story doesn't define me, but it has been one of the crucial pivoting points in my life. It unfolded 2.5 years ago, and I think the best illustrator for this will be to show you a clip that I filmed back then when this happened. This is just a simple video. I don't even know which language I'm going to speak to you, but because I want to reach as many people as I can, and I want to inspire people and make people's lives better, I think I ought to speak in English because most of the people will understand what I'm saying. I just want you to know that I'm starting literally from zero, even below zero, but we won't talk about the below zero part. So I'm starting to rebuild my life, and today is the first day of that process. The thinking process has already happened in my head. If I didn't have the necessary belief, I wouldn't be sitting here. I would be just scared as I was in the last 7 years and get a slave job and just go about creating something that other people think I should be creating. But I'm taking matters into my own hand, into literally every single aspect of my life. My health and my physical well-being, my mental and spiritual well-being, that have always been the strongest part of me, and also everything to do with the psychological, with the way that I'm thinking, the way I'm feeling, the way I am believing in myself and believing that this is possible, and believing and feeling the universe is behind me. If those elements were not in place, I wouldn't be as daring to actually start doing this or to recording it. I'm recording it just so that I can show you that you can do the same thing. So today is one of the really, really low points, but it is also spiritually and mentally one of the highest points. Not just hope and not just belief, but actually knowing that this is possible, that this will be achieved, that this is the only way that it can happen and unfold, that this is the way the flow of the energy will happen, and this is the way that my life will carry on forward. Hence I am documenting it. Love and peace to you all. I am sure you will notice that the sparkle wasn't there inside my eye, but I assure you that that was the moment when the decision was made inside me. When I made the choice to follow my inner voice and allow it to guide me through life. As you can tell probably from the size of my smile, I have never looked back from that moment on. And this is the reason why I want to share that particular story with you. Because it shows you in plain sight, it shows you the stark difference between the way we feel and the way our energy shows up in the world. And make no mistake, that was for me a moment in which I already made a decision. So I not only carried the belief inside me, I carried the knowing that everything will be all right, that everything is all right, that my world didn't end, because I picked up all of the pieces and I said, I'm going to put this together, not to come to where I was before, but to go way beyond that. So that's the moral of that little story there. And there are so many more stories that I cannot wait to share with you. And I would like to invite you to join me for the conversation. You don't even have to be brave. You just have to be willing and real. That is it. That's all it takes. A little openness, because there will be no judgment. Trust me, we have all been there. If that clip didn't show you that I was at my really lowest point, I don't know how else my words would describe it. I think the look in my eyes and just the whole, as I said, the energy level just speaks for itself, doesn't it? Life is more interesting and inspiring when we share our stories. Allowing another person to have the similar experience, allowing them and giving them permission to allow themselves to go through the steps that they need to go in order to grow, in order to become fuller version of themselves, of better, higher version with higher and bigger standards. That is a possibility that we all carry inside ourselves. It's just a question of how we make those two choices. When we come to a point where we think, oh, I only have one choice, think, because there is always a choice that perhaps you don't want to make because it will require you to be braver. It will maybe take something that requires you to come out of your comfort zone. And that's okay, dear friend. That is totally, completely okay, because those things in life where you take that next step in pure faith, in pure knowing inside your being, you know everything will be all right, but you don't see the road ahead of you, so you slightly hold your breath. You have to go on faith. Trust me, it comes out all right. You never regret those decisions, but just be aware that in those moments when you are seeing no choice, when you think that life has brought you to a dead end, to a corner from which you don't see an exit, trust that exit is there, and that at least two choices are always in front of you. I'm very curious as to which one you will pick. I have hopefully illustrated on my example that there is only one right choice that you can pick, and that is to empower yourself to keep believing that you can do and reach and become all of your dreams and goals, that your mission is far bigger than you can imagine at this point in time, and that everything will unfold perfectly. And don't ever even doubt the timing. The timing will be perfect. Everything will happen at the moment when you are most ready. Just don't doubt yourself. If I could give you one piece of advice on top of everything I have said, that would be to step out or step back from using just your thinking mind to navigate you through life. Allow your instincts to take over, especially in the moments where you are making those big life choices and life decisions that actually shape your destiny. Because your destiny is always in your hands. The reality you live depends on the choices you make. And these are not just words. I hope I have illustrated with the clip I shared with you that this is actually the most empowering choice that you can make in life. When you embrace yourself from within, when you resolve to really look after the being that is inside you, first and foremost, when you hold that with all the integrity and dignity that you have, then you show up in the world in a much bigger, more complete and more sincere way. And from that place, from that state of being, that is how you make the most meaningful connections. So in that moment, everything that is superficial will just fall off. You will be able to step into new you, so to speak. This bigger light inside you will switch on, and you will take on another role, and you will go to absolutely anything that you desire, and you will create an impact, because this world needs examples. It doesn't need so many words, it just needs an example. I have given you my story, which is my example at this moment in time for you. And I hope and I know that this message will speak to some of you who see this video. I am so grateful for you showing up here, and I'm so grateful for you being willing to show up for yourself, because that is really and truly where it all begins. It begins with you. Every change you want to see, every improvement you want to witness, all your life taking on a new meaning, it all starts with you making the right choice for you. I do hope that this episode has served you in the best possible way, and that you can feel how much love comes from me to you. I will see you in one of the next episodes, and I can't wait to share with you my stories, and I can't wait to hear your stories in return. Let's light up the world with a new example of happy, of fulfilled, the new example of what humankind is capable of. Let's just steer this whole big world in a new, wonderful direction. I know we can do that. Bye bye for now. If my little story has resonated with you today, and if this whole message is resonant inside your heart, I would like to extend an invitation to you to join us in my private Facebook group called Art and Soul Society, where we have gathered a community of like-hearted souls where you would be very welcome. It is an uplifting community of creative souls that like to uplift, support each other on the journey, and have a shared experience. I think we all know that we are in this together, and things are much more meaningful when we bring these little stories together, when we connect our individual stories and make one big happy story. I do hope to see you there. The link is in the description. Thank you once again for your time. I really truly appreciate it, and I cannot wait to see you in one of the next episodes of This Is Your Moment podcast.